You know, in scripture, we see things like God parting the Red Sea. We think of the story of the flood. We think of um, Balaam and the donkey that God used to speak to him after he beat the donkey. Um, we think of so many majestic, wonderful, and even strange things that God often will do as he engages with humanity, even things that sometimes people question when it comes to the character of God. Um, but have you ever considered this perspective? Those of you that are familiar with the unfolding story of Scripture at any level, have you ever thought about, is this what God deems necessary to do in order to get through to our thick skulls? When you think of all of the animal sacrifices that would have been needed to point to an atoning substitutionary sacrifice that would be ultimately fulfilled in Jesus Christ Messiah, could it be that that is what God, who is the manufacturer, knows his product, and the defect, sin, that is in his product, have we ever considered that God, being all-knowing and all-wise, but also love, which informs his omniscience and all-knowing and wisdom, and he's trying to redeem, he's trying to reclaim, trying to buy back, trying to restore his children, and because of this defect in the product, he knows when he's engaging with us what is needed to break through to our hardened, proud, selfish hearts. And that God is willing to do what it takes to get his kids back, as it's in keeping with his nature and character of love. And maybe that'll help us as we engage with Scripture, as we study it, meditate on it, read it. Maybe that'll help us with some of the questions that we often ask about him. If we keep the reality of his core nature, which is love, which is other-centeredness, self-giving, self-sacrificing love, and the fact that he assesses everything and knows just how thick our skulls are. Some of us don't learn unless we bump our heads over and over and over again until, oh, wait a minute, now I see the light. And God's like, that's kind of what I've been trying to get across to you this entire time. Just something to think about.